I am your host, Carrie Scollon, giving us different perspectives on where we are and where we want to go on our journey. Thanks for being here, and I look forward to spending some time with you. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the FoundHer series. I am your host, Carrie Scollon. I am thrilled to be here again this week with another incredible guest. I have Karen Judge. She is the creator of Get a Dose of Happiness. I'm going to bring her right in here because I absolutely adore talking to this woman. I met her recently for the first time in person, and I think we are aligned on so many things. Karen, thank you for being my guest. I want to just read out a couple things that were on your website that I absolutely loved. And I love that you made it so clear. So your purpose is to inspire and support people to prevent a mental health challenge. Love the word prevent in there. Passion, uplift, and ignite people to show up for life like they mean it. So you just have such a declaration, and it's just so strong, and I just love that. Your mission is to build the world's most wondrous platform for proactive mind health and the science of happiness. And strengths is create vibrant, valuable, and memorable experiences. Let people know they matter. So near and dear to my heart is that we are more than enough and that we all matter. So I'll stop talking. Come on in. And thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for that nice warm welcome. Yes. Awesome. I know.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. Just a big dose of happiness is what I am.
Exactly. I mean, look at you. How do you not get that? Even just looking at you, that's what it feels like. You're like a ray of sunshine and a warm hug all mixed together with so much creativity and genius. And when I met you, it was just, you're somebody that just comes straight from the heart and you want to make a difference. But you've got a lot of stuff to back you up for what you're doing and why you're doing it. So share with us how you got started and what it is that you actually do.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you so much. And Carrie, I've so enjoyed getting to know you. You know, we've had our little meetings off site, and I mean, we had our first in-person meeting, and I think we needed to make it a weekend sleepover party because I think we could have just carried on. I was sad it was over. But yeah, where do I start? You know, I kind of a big story. I could talk for hours on this and often do. But really, it's what you just read about me is exactly, it really sums it up. Like that just sums up who I am, what my purpose is in this life. I really truly believe this is my soul's contract. This is the reason I was brought to this earth and my story. And it's not really about my story. I share bits of my story, but we all have a story.
Yes.
But everything about my story has brought me to where I am today. Yeah. And bottom line is I'm working as I sit in front of my sunshine wall. This wall is not just happy, but it's very symbolic because I'm working to shine a bright light on mental health. And you're going to hear me use that term once, and then I'm going to shut it down because I really think the term needs a whole makeover. And I think it starts with getting rid of the word mental. But I'm trying to shine a bright light on that and bring hope for change. We're in a state of crisis. As the world is speeding up, people's happiness levels are going down. And that is simply because our nervous system can't keep up. Yeah. And so we need to have the skills and tools. And unless we start paying attention to making a daily habit of taking care of our brain and mind, then we're going to keep heading in the wrong direction. So years and years ago, I met Louise Bradley from the Mental Health Commission of Canada, and we had dinner together. And I shared with Louise a bit about my story and my mission. Mm-hmm. And she had said to me she had never heard of anyone who'd been through a story like mine before and was still so positive and wanted to impact change. And she asked if I would promise to make the conversation around mental health, that word I don't want to use, sexy. And not only did I take her words to heart, but ever since I've been on a mission to do exactly that. So in front of me, which you can't see and I could scan, but I won't, is a 7,500 square foot space. It's massive. It looks like an adult's playground. Most people come in and they think it's a kid's place, but it's not. And it's a learning hub, and it's where we do a lot of corporate team building and workshops, all about bringing proactive mind health into the workplace. But we also do friends and families, and we want to start doing women's retreats, full day retreats in here. So we really are we're the first of its kind in the world. Everybody that comes in here is just like, what is this place? And they don't want to leave.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's designed on purpose, because we want to immediately make people feel safe, and we want them to feel trust. Because if there's anything we're lacking in this world right now, I don't know about anybody else, but it's trust. What do we trust anymore these days? And that's playing a big role on our state of mind, and that we don't feel safe. And so we want to create a place that instantly provides that, and then offer experiences that inspire people and uplift it. And that's exactly what we're doing here. And I mean, we probably have a reality show. Should put a camera in the ceiling for every group event we have in here, because it's just magical. It truly is, of what happens and what transpires, and the connection and the energy. And you can see people feel safe, and yeah, it's really meaningful work. So I love getting out of bed every day. When the world, there are days though I think planet Earth is not for me, because the world is not making sense.
Yeah. Yes.
And I think to myself, I'm not powerful enough to stop wars or corruption or mistrust and all that. I can't. But what I can do is show up here every day and try to touch, if just one person, and the ripple effect. And I think, you know what? I've got my little corner of the world, and I'm just going to keep doing that and see how many people I can touch and inspire. And
one mind at a time, right? One mind at a time.
One mind. So I have a really extensive background in. I've spent the last decade researching the brain-mind-body connection. So neuroscience, biology, human potential, mental health training, positive psychology, and I've taken all the best practices. And what's so exciting, we are never lived in a more exciting time, because spirituality and science are finally coming together, and they're proving there are answers. Nobody needs to struggle. Nobody needs to suffer. And this message needs to get out there, first of all, on what you could be doing every day to protect your mind health, because it's a habit, it's mastery, it's about getting to a place where you're just doing it without thinking.
Yep.
But all the, like a snowflake, no two people are the same. So depending on where a person's at, which we like to meet people where they're at and raise them up, there are solutions for everything. Yes. Whether you've got unresolved trauma, just so many different things. So we're just excited about that. So yeah, it's
the word out.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's what I'm on the mission.
Yeah.
I'm on that mission to make people, bring some joy and hope, and help people create a compelling future. There's two reasons why we struggle. Two reasons. You break it down. You can tell me your story. You can think that but it comes down to two things: unresolved past trauma and the belief of not being enough. That is why people will struggle, right? And the lack of a compelling future, which, a lot of people are there right now. The world is in chaos. I mean, everywhere you turn, from food issues to future pandemics, to wars, to inflation. I mean, schools, I mean, you name it, healthcare issues. Like, it's just every day there's something new that's showing up that's just like, where's the compelling future? Where's the hope? And
there's a lot of fear right now. We're living in a lot of fear.
And it starts with us. So we have to have the skills and tools to not let the fear overtake us.
Yes.
Because we are so powerful. We are so powerful. And this is a time of uncertainty, but it's also a time for growth. And each and every one of us can play a role. And together we can be so powerful. Like I always say, this is not the Karen Judge Show. I can't do this by myself. Yep. We need to all come together and do this, lock arms and come together and do this together.
Yes.
So, I want to believe there's hope. And I believe that more of us need to be doing this. More of us need to be spreading this.
Yeah.
More of us need to be part of the joy, right? And
100%,
so,
100%,
yeah,
100%. I think
yeah.
a lot of what we're doing by trying to spread the message that there is another way, that there is hope, that it's at our fingertips. Like you said, this is a very exciting time to be in the world because of what is available to us.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's anything that you want to learn about or grow or expand, it's at our fingertips. But sometimes people are even scared to do that.
Yeah.
So by people like you who are spreading the word and really one at a time does provide the ripple effect, 100%. But it starts with us. Like we've had to do the work. We've had to figure out what brings us joy. So a lot of the FoundHer series that I do and bring women on is they've found what fills them up, and that makes the world a better place.
Yeah.
I so believe in that find what lights you up. That is what is going to be put out there. And you're going to give other people permission or hope that it can happen to them as well.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It just starts with you. Everything starts with us. And Carrie, it's just meeting you, it's like you've got this and you meet like-minded and we all come together and everybody has a gift to share. Nobody's better, and it's just, and what can we now go out and do and do it together and be more powerful and get this message louder and louder and bring more hope and that. So
you do a lot with corporate and a big piece of that, like we talked about, was the preventative and really the well-being of their people. So just the fact that companies are taking this on and saying, we want to help our people, because that in turn helps everything. I mean, we know that it's such a win-win, in my opinion, when you're all working together for the greater good, whatever that looks like for you. So the well-being of their people. So you do corporate team building. I read something about that you do a painting piece with, is it?
Yeah.
Can you just touch on that a little bit? I just found that really intriguing when I read that piece.
Yeah. So, well, first of all, I truly believe proactive mind health is the precursor to success in business and in life. It starts there. If somebody can't manage the pictures they're creating in their head and the words they're attaching to them, and they're not serving them and they're negative, then they're not productive. They're not engaged. They're not building valuable relationships. They're not great at problem solving. They're not critical thinkers. Like, to me, this is like such a big business issue. And I can't want something for somebody more than they want it for themselves, but I just can't, if a corporation or a leader doesn't believe this matters, I got nothing. Like, I'm out. I got nothing. Right. So it's just about setting people up for success. Right. And we're not taught this. We've not been taught this. So when I speak in public, the first question I always ask is, raise your hand if you woke up this morning with a proactive plan for your mind health. I don't even get 1% of the people that raise their hand. First of all, they don't even know what that means, right?
Yep.
And the next question I ask is, raise your hand if you or somebody struggles with depression. Usually about 96 to 100% of people raise their hand. Hello? Until we are starting to make this a daily habit and we're talking about this, we're making it part of corporate culture, we're bringing it into the schools, we're talking about it in the home, we're talking about our friends and family, we're bringing it into all communities, the crisis of depression is going to rise. And it just comes down because people don't know what they don't know. And then I go in and I play a game called Did You Know? And this game is all about your brain, mind, body connection. And they're all questions about how we're wired, how we're built. And I've yet to have a group be able to answer 5% of the questions correctly, it makes it really fun. It makes it really engaging. There's great conversation. There's lots of humor that's always shared. But the concern is, if we don't know this information, then we're not using it. And this information is what you can use to protect your mind health, yet nobody knows it.
Nobody knows it.
I just sit there and I'm like, wow, I got a big job to do to get this message. And then after everyone's done the session, I just see aha moment after aha moment. People like, wow. And then I empower them and say, well, now that you know all this information, how are you going to use it when you leave it? Like, what action are you going to take? Because I am not about spiritual entertainment. I am not here to just talk at you. I don't want to be one of those speakers or experiences where you go, well, that was really uplifting and she was really positive, but well, what did I say?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I don't want that. So I keep it super simple. Yeah. And elementary level. And I want you to leave with that one takeaway. What is going to be that one takeaway that you can start to incorporate into your own life and start to create a shift? Yes. So that's kind of where, that's sort of talking about where I start. So when we work with a corporate, we don't have a lot of this. Our website's very basic for a reason, because we keep things very simple. Because again, I think a big thing in life is we're complicating everything. I don't know about you, but you go to some people's websites and I'm like, I don't have time to figure this out, right? So we keep it very simple for a reason. And what our superpower is, we meet people where they're at. Mm-hmm. So I can't meet you. I'm not here to give you what I think you need. I want to give you what you actually need. And I can't do that until I meet you and I get to know you. So we want, how it works for us is you reach out to us, tell us what you want, what you're looking for, right? What are your pain points? What is the outcome you want? And then we'll start to do a proposal for you according to your needs and your budget. Like we try to be, obviously we get people that come and say, $20 a person. Can't really offer too much at that level, especially if it's a team of 6 people, right? Like, but we try to meet, we're probably starting at about $500 as our entry for an experience. And we've done as high as $10,000 experiences. So it's all over, right? And then what we want to know is, do you want something educational or do you want something creative? Are you just looking to connect with your team and kind of have a fun experience of how we can connect to mind health? I like it when they do both. Mm-hmm. And so, we start off with kind of the did you know as the starting point for our educational piece, because it starts with building a foundation. And so that helps us to start to build a foundation and make people feel safe. And then we go into this creative experience and we work with the iconic artist, Dean Stanton, who I just adore. He should be world famous, and he's adored by many. And you tell us about your team, or you tell us about your family. Like we do a lot of these family portraits or anniversaries, weddings,
really?
and he creates a custom sketch, piece of art around your story with whatever that is. And then you come in with it as a group and you paint it yourself on the back. And then you leave with an original piece of art. It is magical. I can't get enough of doing these paintings because it's like a form of meditation. And they're just, when you do the reveal after, because everyone thinks it looks messy from the back and it looks childish. And when you flip it over, it's just, everyone's like, oh, they start screaming. And it's amazing. It's so fun. And really, we really link it because creativity sparks curiosity. Curiosity sparks playfulness. Playfulness sparks consciousness. And consciousness is the birthplace for a healthy brain and mind. And we need to start operating more in consciousness, because most of us, the average human is operating from their subconscious program 95% of the day. So that means they're having the same thoughts as they had yesterday. They're going to have the same outcomes, the same problems, the same. And in order for us to have a healthy and happy mind, we have to expand our style of thinking and our ability to take in stuff. So I'm really about creativity, and through art, we really teach that.
And I love the piece about the curiosity and the playfulness, because I think a lot of that has come out of our everyday life. Everybody's it just feels heavy, and it's just like, you got to bring that back in. And like you said, I love how you put them all together, because I talk about that too, with the curiosity and dreaming again. And 95% of what we think every day is the same thoughts that we had yesterday. Yeah. How do we expect anything to change if we're not willing to take a look at what we want? And then we got to do the work to get there.
Yes.
But part of that, or a lot of that, is having fun.
Yes. And getting back to play, and getting in our inner child and igniting that playfulness. And that's really what when you walk in our space, the first desk says, ignite your inner child. Like this space is all about play. Yes. It's as playful as you can get. So,
and to that point as well, I think when you hear the word inner child, people, that also makes people go, that's too much for me. I don't think. But when you walk into your space and see that, it is just such a welcoming, like you said, safe, welcome, happy, it's joyful. So there's something that automatically, I think you, and I'm sure this is on purpose, of course it is, but your nervous system just, everything just calms down. Even though it's a beautiful, happy place, there's something inside that makes you just go, I'm welcome here. Like, I'm welcome in here. Everybody who walks through those doors is welcome as to come in as who they are, not like, we all have inner child stuff. But it just makes it inviting. It makes you feel like, I don't know, your place just gives me so much hope. I think that's when I walked in, that was the feeling that I got from that.
And it is all on purpose. So thank you for noticing. And yes, that is what we're going for. And it is, like I said, it's incredible. It's incredible how, the Charlie Brown, and they had the Lucy, the 5 cents advice thing. I need to get that up on my desk at the front, because everyone comes in and they instantly sit down and they start telling me their whole life. And I'm like, I don't even know this person. Right? And it's amazing how instantly people just feel so safe, and they just feel like they can share, which is wonderful, right? It's wonderful. But it is through that. I mean, it's the way I feel. Every treatment center, say, hospitals where people have to go because they're struggling with brain health challenges. If they could be in an environment like this, I only can imagine, how much quicker they could maybe get to success and hope for health and wellness, right?
Yes.
It's powerful.
So you created this. So I want to acknowledge you for that, because this just didn't happen. I mean, you created this. You had a vision, and I think that's what I love so much is we get so in our own ways when we don't feel like we're enough. And we talked about that, that we are all enough, but it stops us. And you didn't let that stop you. You went ahead, you forged ahead, you learned, you researched, you did the work to create something that is so beautiful and so impactful. Can you tell me, can we talk a little bit more about that, the enoughness that so many of us have struggled through, still struggle through? And I really think that most of us have this, is that, do we matter? And that's what we're longing for. That's a basic need, a human need, right? So
and just to kind of touch briefly on my story, and again, I don't like to get too deep into it because we all have a story, but mental illness runs rampant in my family. Matter of fact, I tell people I think we invented it. It's unreal. And years ago, through my own life crisis, I could say, of losing several family members within a short period of time, I knew my own mind health was challenged because of what I'd been through. And I knew I wanted to break the cycle in my family. And I've seen how family members struggled, and I see why they struggle. And a lot of it came down to, not believing you are enough or unresolved trauma. And so I saw it in myself, and I was like, it's not going to happen. And so my journey was very personal at first. And I had to go out and figure out how to stay healthy. And I'm proud to say, I never say never, because I don't know what tomorrow brings. But I feel like I deal with some pretty hard, I got a lot of stuff still going on in my life. And I feel like I have the skills and tools to handle it. And so, I put my faith and confidence that I'm going to manage to stay as healthy as I can. And it works. And so now I feel like I have an obligation to share with others of what that is. And like I said, it really comes down to, I have a movement or a project called the You Matter Project, which I started way in 2012, a teen suicide campaign that I did that was really successful. I've kind of had the project parked, and I want to bring it out again. And I want to attach it to a few different things. Before I did all this, and I was a brain geek, I was in the fashion industry. I'm very, and design industry. So, I have that background. That's why I create what I create. I just can't stop.
Yeah.
And when I was in the fashion industry, I actually had a TV segment, a TV on takeover makeovers. They were makeovers, and it was so rewarding, that experience. And I would be with the person for an entire week, and who that person was at the start of the week and who they became at the end of the week. You couldn't give me $1 million paycheck. I have these, documented, videoed. I don't share them with other people. They're just for me. I watch them every so often, and they bring tears to my eyes of the process of just taking care of self. And yeah, those shoes can make a difference. And I'm not talking in a superficial way, because that's significance, and that's really damaging. Yes. I'm talking about connection to self. And so we really want the You Matter project to connect back to that, and to start to really have that belief of self. And through these, like, it was just the one thing I always see when somebody is maybe not their healthiest is their eyes start to sparkle. So when I work with somebody and I get them out of the room, and all of a sudden they hold their head back, or they stand differently, and I see that sparkle in their eye, and they look in the mirror, and you can tell they're seeing themselves in a way they've not ever seen themselves. And I think, I got them. And now we're going to do more of this. And then when I get to watch them through the day, just keep like adding on this and compounding it, and who they are at the end of the day, and they're practically doing cartwheels. And I'm telling you, it is like, it's like, yeah. So we're working to bring this back. We're working to launch it back in June. It's going to be our community investment, and we're just working on securing our sponsors and the whole process. So we're going to be bringing these makeovers back. And so, super excited about it.
I mean, is there anything better than like that? That's what it's just like, better than that to me, is to see somebody else have those moments that they see themselves for who they are and how worthy they are, and how much they do matter, and that they are more than enough. Like, I cannot get enough of that. Like, when we talked in the room, it was just like, we want everybody to feel like this. So that's why it's a contagious, like, how do we do more? How do we get out there? How can we make a difference for people? Because it's possible. I think that's the exciting part for me, is you plant the seed, you don't know what's going to happen, but if we can just keep encouraging and being it, because that's a big part of this, right? Like you said, you created this from your experiences, and that's why it's so meaningful. People can go out and try and create something, but if they don't have the experience to connect them with it, I don't think it's as impactful, right? So you've got it all, and you're doing corporate, but you do a lot for the community too. And I want to just highlight that a bit, because I know that the type of person you are, you give back, you give a lot back, and it's another piece of it, right?
Well, I believe you got to give more than you take, and I take a lot, so I have to give a lot. I when it comes to self-care and me, I do take very good care of me.
And that's amazing. Yes.
Sorry, excuse me. So I have to give back. And yes, whenever I have a chance, I don't pat myself on the back. I'm no major or whatever. But I love to, it's so good for this to be in service to others and to give. So whenever I have the chance to do that, that just fills me up. And I think that's what we're all here for. We're here to be in service. That's what we're here for. It's not that complicated. It's love to be in service to others, to take your story, and we all have a gift. Yes. Every single one of us has something we could offer to somebody else to just make somebody else's life a little bit easier. Yes. And I'm telling you, because the number one reason people struggle again, or one of the top reasons, they can't get out of their head. They're all about me.com. They're all about when you can get out of yourself and you can do for others. I say the quickest way to turn a frown upside down is to go do a random act of kindness for somebody. Yes. And see how you feel. It'll get you out of yourself, right? 100%. So I really, giving back is huge. And, my goal, I'm on a mission to make a lot of money, and not because I need another fancy car. I don't need a car. I don't need fancy shoes. I don't need fancy trips. I don't need diamonds, but so I can do more really cool stuff for people out in the world. So I can contribute, because that just fills me. It fills me. So yeah,
absolutely. And that was a real mind shift for me too, because I wanted to give everything away. And then, but it's like, but the more money I can make, the more I can give. And that is what motivates me now on the money part. It's like, I know I can do more.
Mhm.
And so to be charging for what we're doing and putting out there, it's not a selfish thing. To me, I can actually just make more of an impact by doing that. And I'm not doing a lot of favors by just everything for free either. So there's a real balance there, that was one of my things definitely that I had to get around. But we're already out of time. I can't believe it. That went.
You and I, like I said, it could chat forever. I could sit here and just like pull up a chair and just, go back and hang out for the day.
Yes, no kidding. Well, Karen, I want to thank you so much. I encourage anybody to check out getadoseofhappiness.com. There's going to be lots of things coming out, rolling out, opportunities to work with you, to take classes, to watch, to get involved. And I want to thank you so much for what you do and the impact that you're making and really sharing the message that we all matter. And for all of you out there watching, thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you next week. And always know that you are more than enough as is. And thank you for being here. Bye-bye.